What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to talk about with you guys. In today's video, I actually want to talk about the fact that the New York Knicks are expected to currently target a trade for Karl Towns if he does want out of the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is all being reported by the Athletic HQ. Now, this is a very, very realistic trade target for the New York Knicks. Right now on the team, they do actually have a pretty solid team, but it is very clear that they desperately need a center. I mean, this team would be so much better if they had a center going through. Like, they really don't have anything. Like, Nerlens, well, he's cool and all. Taj Gibson, okay, come on now. It's Taj Gibson. I don't want to really disrespect him too much because he's actually had a pretty decent season somehow. But again, it is Taj Gibson, like I just said. They also have Mitch Robinson, but I think it's clear to New York Knicks fans and NBA fans that he will not be really the guy going forward. I mean, he averages about 8 and 8 per game on, 28 minutes. It's just not very great stats at all. Like, I mean, I think Mitch Robinson was one of the most overrated players, and now I think New York Knicks fans are starting to realize that. I think they've realized they kind of rated him too highly to begin with. But when we look at Karl Towns, this guy is currently stuck on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are one of the worst teams in the league. Yes, they are improving, but they are kind of playing D'Angelo Russell, who is making $30 million a season. They're playing him off the bench. It's ridiculous. D'Angelo Russell will not want to stay on this team. I guarantee that I could definitely see D'Angelo Russell actually requesting a trade. Who will trade for him? I'm not exactly too sure. I definitely feel like there will be a team out there. For example, the Lakers, who I think Dennis Schroeder will potentially leave in free agency. I really do. I think that Schroeder's talked about for a long time. He doesn't want to play for LA. He never wanted to be there in the first place. And he wants about $25 million a season. If I was the Lakers, and if I was to see him leave for $25 million a season, I see D'Lo wants to potentially request a trade, I would definitely look to trade D'Lo. They have assets. They've got Montrezl Harrell on about $10 million. They've got Marcus on about $5 million, I believe, who they'll eventually be getting rid of. That frees up $15 million right there. Again, Dennis Schroeder's on about, I think he's on $13 million. So, they'll definitely have room to try and trade for a max contracted player. And I definitely feel like they will, and I feel like D'Angelo Russell would actually be kind of perfect for this team, and I feel like he could still average 20 points per game with LeBron and AD, and he kind of brings some new life to their team, and kind of gets that Lakers redemption story that I'm sure a lot of people really wanted to see actually happen. So I wouldn't mind that at all, but if D'Angelo Russell requests a trade, what I'm trying to say is here, Karl Towns will request a trade. If his best mate's requesting a trade, he's not going to want to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves for much longer. And when he requests a trade, there will be a lot of teams trying to get him. Of course, the Golden State Warriors will try and offer James Wiseman, Kelly Oubre, Eric Pascal, and probably 2 to 3 first-round picks. And then I think the New York Knicks will come in, and what they'll do is they'll offer Obi Toppin, they'll offer Mitchell Robinson, they'll offer Kevin Knox, so they'll get those 3 young players in the package. Then I think they'll offer their Dallas pick this year, and they'll probably offer 2 other first-round picks. Then you get Karl Towns, and oh my god, do you have a very scary team. You would have Derrick Rose, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Reggie Bullock, Julius Randle, Karl Towns, Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel still, and whoever they go out and sign free agency. And I still think they will get a star in free agency. Who that star will be, I'm not too sure. Some people have been saying Kawhi Leonard. We, of course, know Kawhi Leonard will not be going to the New York Knicks. I doubt he'll be leaving the Clippers, no matter how bad they've been doing in the playoffs at the time of making this video. I don't think he'll be leaving the Clippers. If he does, he'd probably go to Golden State because they're close to LA. And he wants to go to the Clippers in the first place just because that is his home. But again, I don't think they'll get him. I think DeMar DeRozan's a more realistic player. And again, he still averages around 22 points per game. So he'd still be a very, very cool player to try and get into the team. Whether they get DeMar DeRozan or not will be very, very debatable. They still need to re-sign Bullock, who's apparently going to be getting about $10 million a year. Rose will probably get about $10 million a year as well. So So that's about $20 million right there. Again, they will get a max player though. They do have the cap space to sign a max player, and they do have a cap space to try and trade for a max player. Considering they'll have so many free agents this year, and the only like couple players that are guaranteed money is like RJ Barrett and of course Julius Randle, and that right there is only about $25 million. They have a lot of money to be flexible with, is what I'm trying to say here. And again, they will get a max start in free agency. For the sake of this video, I'm going to say they're going to get DeMar DeRozan, because I think he is the favorite. I've heard there has been some rumors he might be going to the Washington Wizards recently. I'm sure some of you guys have heard that. Of course, I could definitely see that happening. I think Russ, Beal, and DeMar and a bunch of role players would be a really cool team to watch. I do think, though, he will look at the New York Knicks, and let's just say they sign him in free agency. I think they will, you know, of course, they will trade for Karl Anthony Towns if they are available to. And then they will sign other role players in free agency. Then their team starts to become really, really scary. There has been a very high rumor as well they could get a player like Dennis Schroeder, who still wants to start on a team. Again, because they're so flexible with their cap, they probably are able to sign Dennis Schroeder and, you know, DeMar DeRozan, have bird rights on Derrick Rose, and have bird rights on Reggie Bullock, and then of course still have the ability to trade for Karl Anthony Towns. If they do make this all happen, they will have a team that would look like Dennis Schroeder at point guard, RJ Barrett at shooting guard, DeMar DeRozan at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, Karl Anthony Towns at center, and then off the bench you would have Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickley, Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel potentially. And then they'll of course go and sign some forwards, because they will need to get forwards here and there. That team would be absolutely crazy, and the defense is still there. You still got Coach Thibodeau, who will still be there. It would be a crazy team to kind of watch, and I think how the Minnesota Timberwolves actually do pretty well in this trade is, let's just say, who knows, they get like a Montrezl Harrell, a first round pick maybe, and a couple role players, who knows, out of the Lakers for, of course, D'Angelo Russell. They could still be looking at a team that, you know, who knows who they'll roll at point guard. They could even roll Anthony Edwards at point guard. That would be an interesting experience. I know he only averages 2.9 assists, but he looks like the type of dude that could eventually average more. Of course, I think Ricky Rubio will probably start at point guard. I think they'll keep him. So you'd have Rubio at point guard, Anthony Edwards at shooting guard, and Malik Beasley probably at like the small forward. They'd probably have to go real small ball. I know it doesn't sound great. You know, Edwards would actually probably guard that small forward, Malik Beasley at shooting guard. You know, they'd probably have Obi Toppin then at power forward, Mitchell Robinson at center. They probably won't have their pick this year, because if you didn't know, it's top 3 protected. Golden State actually get to keep their pick if it's not in the top 3. And then again off the bench, they could have like Vanderbilt. Would probably, he would be there. Kevin Knox, I think, would, you know, come into this team. He'd be alright. And, you know, you still have a solid foundation. Nice Reid off the bench as well. It'd actually be pretty cool. It'd be a pretty cool young team to see. And they can probably go out and sign some other guys in free agency as well, which would be kind of cool to maybe potentially see. But of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think that the New York Knicks should, of course, go out and get Karl Anthony Towns? Do you guys think he'll be easy to potentially trade for? Or do you guys think it'd be hard to trade for? Definitely don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/long channels if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well, which I will link in the description down below. But as I was saying, to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.